Hello, my friends. I have two very exciting things to share with you today. One is this beautiful altered book junk journal that I have created. The other is an announcement that I'm very excited to make. I have been accepted onto the design team of A Trace of Sparkle. I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Jennifer for including me on her team. So let's have a look. You can see that it is full of lace and yummy tulle and all kinds of feminine sparkly things. Here are the bead dangles hanging from the wax thread that tie the signatures in. Before we get into it, I want to let you know that you can find Jennifer at A Trace of Sparkle on YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest, and I will have her links in my description box. I've really been enjoying altering books lately, so I think you guys are going to see a lot more of these. So the way I had to alter this book, those first two pages, they're actually connected to that front cover. And starting with this piece of fabric here is where we actually start in the signatures. I have used the kit Sugared Linen and also the Sugared Linen Ephemera Pack. I will be sure to link both of those kits in my description box. In this journal, you're going to see pieces from the kit and pages from the kit, and this is one of them. You're also going to see the book pages, some magazine pages, some vintage magazine pages, some coffee-dyed paper, lace, tags, and other goodies. I must also mention that I was inspired to make this particular journal by Andrea Strobel. She had suggested a pastel journal when I went ahead and did my 2K giveaway, and I asked for those suggestions. So Andrea Strobel said she would like me to do a pastel journal. So with that in mind, you're also going to see things that she sent me, just like that tag that I showed you. So her goodies are spread throughout this journal as well. This paper on the right is vintage wrapping paper. It's so pretty. I've lined it with lace and then added this blingy halfback gem to it. And when we flip it over, we see images from the kit, but also there's tulle. It's so fine you can barely see it. I'm going to place it over top of some red just to see if you're able to see it any better. Not much, but you can tell it's there. This adorable bead dangle was given to me by my friend Crystal at Vividly on Paper. Here's the other side of the vintage wrapping paper. As you could see, I actually printed out a page from the kit onto the back of that wrapping paper. One more thing I want to mention that I did was not only did I print Jennifer's kit out on the back of wrapping paper, and I did that in a couple of places, I also printed it out on the back of magazine paper, wallpaper, and also pink cardstock. And what you see here, that image was printed on pink cardstock. So if you were to print it out on white, it would be brighter, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that to you. I love this kit. I think it's so beautiful. It's ultra feminine. I thought it was perfect for the Cinderella story. This blue piece that I had in the front, it's like a blue handkerchief. That was recently given to me by my friend BB of BB's Closet Creations. Thank you, BB. Almost every page in this journal is lined with lace. Isn't it just beautiful and dreamy? I added one of Cinderella's birds to this little postcard that comes in the kit. I tried really hard to only use pastels in this creation, but in this pocket, I went ahead and stuffed some vintage pieces. They are black and white, and actually they're not really quite so white anymore, but they used to be. This magazine page is from 1954, and it's got some really cool advertisements, and I thought whoever ends up with this journal might enjoy using that as ephemera if they wanted to. Do want to mention that this journal is available in my Etsy shop. I had some fun with some really wide blue lace here, and I put it over top of these side tucks that I had created, and they were just plain white. So I thought that was perfect to just put a nice light blue lace over it. Here is another one of the bead dangles that I created for the center of the signature. This journal has 6 signatures in it. And I wanted to mention that several of the bead dangles have little tiny pumpkins. They are Cinderella pumpkins. They were given to me by my friend Pam at Pamela's Creations. They also have buttons because, you know, in this story, the mice help her make a dress. So I thought buttons would be cute on here as well. Many of you know my friend Kathy at Kathy's Favorite Things, and I have to mention that she made that gorgeous paperclip up in the top with that big pink flower on it. So thank you, Kathy. I used 2 beautiful fabric doilies in this journal, and this is one of them, and the other one's the pink one. I also used some paper doilies, and you'll see those throughout. This vintage music page with the green lace on it truly is here for effect. It's just there to look pretty, and I think it really does look pretty. This beautiful vintage card was also given to me in Happy Mail, and I think it's perfect in this journal. And you can flip that up like I just did and have a secret writing space if you wanted to. Here's more of the vintage wrapping paper, and you can see I printed the digital kit right on the opposite side of that. If you're curious how I did that, I put it in, you know how your printer will have a main feed, but it also has a top feed and then sometimes a back feed. Well, mine has a back feed, and that's how I put, you know, if I'm using something unusual like the wrapping paper or even the wallpaper, I always put it in the back feed. Here's more vintage music paper. I lined that with a very thick piece of lace, also given to me by my friend Bibi at Bibi's Closet Creations. I did something a little bit different. I had never done, well, there's several new things I hadn't done in this journal, but one of them's coming up. So once we flip over the doily here, you'll see more tulle. And what I did was I actually sewed that in with this signature. So this signature can be tied with that tulle. If you don't like it, you can cut it off if you want to. Don't pull it out though. It's sewn in, so don't pull it out. But you could cut it off at the base, but I think it's charming. I added a few blue, what do we call these, wax seals. I added them with hot glue. I tried to add one with something other than hot glue and it didn't work. It came off. So I ended up gluing them in and that seemed to work perfectly fine. If you guys know another technique, a certain type of glue that works with it, let me know. You might remember on the cover I had some beautiful trim. It was like real embellishment trim. Well, here is a piece of it. It was a piece of the scrap. It actually happened to fit on top of this card that was from the kit. It fit perfectly on there. I didn't even have to trim it or anything. So this piece here, the white, that is the wallpaper. And you'll notice this has a little bit of a creamy hue to it. That's because that's the color that the wallpaper was on the plain side that I was able to print on. So this is a page from the digital kit that I printed onto wallpaper. If you print this out on white cardstock, it will come out much brighter. You guys might remember I made some coffee filter pockets. Here is one of them. I have another one later on in the journal as well. If you'd like to see how I made coffee filter pockets, there is a video. I'll try to remember to link that in my description box for you. You will notice throughout the journal I have some white and blue lace. It's so pretty. It's white lace with like a blue satin ribbon that goes through it. I wanted to mention that I have that listed in my Etsy shop if you're interested. On this tag I used some authentic vintage stamps. They are 3-cent stamps. This adorable card was given to me in Happy Mail and I love it so much. It was really hard for me to give it up and put it in this journal because I think it's so adorable. Another beautiful dangle given to me by my friend Crystal at Vividly on Paper. Here I created a paper flip. It has some lace ribbon, as you can see. The lace ribbon was from Andrea Strobel, and the paper that I used for the flip was from my friend Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. Here we have an envelope flip. We flip this open. Inside this pocket is a small vintage card. I think it's so pretty. Of course, the pastel colors are perfect. And then inside the envelope, we have a card that I found at the thrift store. And I added a flower in the center with one of the little mice because actually the card had an M on it. So I wanted to sort of hide that and make it work with the journal. I took a pink paper heart doily, well it's pink on one side and white on the other, and I lined it with lace fabric, and that is the center of this signature. This is another one of the Cinderella pumpkins, and that was given to me by my friend Pam at Pamela's Creations, and actually the heart and the button were given to me by my friend Crystal at Vividly on Paper. Here is the other coffee filter pocket, and I stuffed it with, well, I stuffed it with 2 tags, and then above that I put another pocket, and I stuffed that with 2 small tags. I had forgotten that this coffee filter pocket actually has a small pocket right here in the front, so I went ahead and put that tag in there and then the larger one in the larger pocket, but you could add another tag in there if you wanted to. We have another paper flip here. I embellished it with some lace and a little die cut, and I mostly used scrap papers in here along with some pink tissue paper that Andrea Strobel sent to me. I wanted to mention again that this is available in my Etsy shop if you are interested. And also I wanted to mention here I was pointing out the spine, and the way that I had to disassemble the book, I had to keep some of the pages connected to the actual cover. So that's why you see some of the spine there, and then you see some more pages. But it was just the way I had to deconstruct it. I did not do a tutorial on that, on disassembling one of these types of books. They're very different than a little golden book. But next time I do one, which will probably be soon, I will be sure to share with you how I did that. Thanks for watching. See you soon.